Hey everybody, it's Michael here from Replica Airguns, and we're going to be doing a video about what's better, plastic airsoft guns, or this can be for BB or airsoft or whatever, or full metal, BB guns, right? Airsoft guns. And usually the full metal are going to have blowback, right? The plastic guns, not always, but usually they're pretty simple. They usually don't have blowback operation. A lot of times they're just all molded in plastic. They're pretty simple. Which one's better, right? So a lot of you might think that the metal one's going to be the clear winner here, and for some it's going to be, right? I mean, we all have our preferences, but I do want to go over like what's good about each, and I usually like to do that. I don't like to just shoot down one and say that this is crap and this is better. Clearly heavy metal, lots of working parts, this is obviously better, right? So let's go through it step by step. Okay, I mean, obviously price, right? If you're looking at price, what's better? Less expensive? It's always better, excuse me. So less expensive is generally better in terms of your pocket, your wallet. It's not going to cost you as much money. You may not have several $100s for a full metal blowback gun. You might have $50 or $60 lying around, and that's good to go. So price, plastic guns, simple plastic guns are going to be cheaper, easier to buy. Okay, let's move on to durability. Okay, so a lot of you might think to yourselves, well, a metal gun is going to be way more durable. It's metal, my goodness sake, it's metal. Plastic, we all know that plastic is softer, weaker than metal, right? Well, that's not necessarily the case, because most of these full metal BB guns, airsoft guns, they're made out of like a zinc alloy, right? It's considered pot metal. It's not any type of metal that would really actually work in a real gun, because it would just blow apart. It doesn't have the strength of actual steel. So it's not steel, it's metal. It's not gun steel, it's metal, zinc alloy. And especially certain parts, depends on how the gun's made. Oftentimes manufacturers will put steel parts where they're important in a gun like this, like pins and screws and things, and potentially even like firing pins, stuff like that gets a lot of wear and tear on it, but not always. Sometimes important parts on these guns are still made out of zinc alloy, and they can wear down a lot quicker than steel. Like slide catch releases can wear down pretty quick and easy. So if you're always doing this and using your slide catch release, can get in here. Okay, it's not going up. Why not? Seems like my firing pin is out. There it is. Okay, I had my actual takedown lever was popped out a little bit. That's what happened there. So the slide catch release, if you keep doing this all the time, it'll wear out the little metal in here, and eventually it wears down to the point where the slide catch release doesn't work anymore. On a real gun, that doesn't happen too often because the slide is real steel, hardened steel. That part's not going to wear down too quick, right? So these guns, and because they're heavy, this gun here is like over 2 pounds. If I were to drop this on the ground, especially on cement or something like that, some hard surface, there's a good chance some of this metal is going to like bend and break, or a piece could even snap off. I mean, it happens. It's pot metal. It's not hardened steel. So you take a heavy gun, drop it on something hard, it's going to get chewed up. Bare minimum, it's going to get chewed up real bad. Lots of scratches, lots of deep scratches in the metal. The other thing about, being metal is that when you scratch it, you're going to see all the silver underneath it. So I mean, sometimes it looks good with guns that have wear and tear, and the metal kind of, you get the worn areas that make it look more like a real gun. And that's kind of cool. But some people like their guns to look nice and like brand new all the time without all the scratches and wear on them. So a metal gun's going to wear more like that, like a real gun. You're going to see scratches, you're going to see wear points. Whereas a plastic gun, the plastic is basically black all the way through. It's molded black plastic. I could put a scratch in this thing and you'll see it, but it's not going to be like white or silver underneath. It's going to be black. So it's not very noticeable. And if I drop a plastic gun, thank God it didn't break. If I drop a plastic gun, I'm not even worried about it, because, this one did actually come back a little bit. It did, the slide does work on this if you push this down. So when I dropped it, it pushed it down, so the slide went back. That's kind of funny. But it's not really normally a working slide. You have to kind of push the ejection port area down and then pull the slide back, but it does come off that way. So nothing broke. It just kind of moved the slide back a little bit, right? No parts snapped off. There's no scratches. Nothing like that, because it's a plastic gun. It weighs next to nothing, so when I drop it, there's a lot less force, right? 2 pounds versus like literally under a pound, not even, like maybe 0.75 pounds here. You're going to notice that you know, it barely even makes a mark on it. When you, now, of course, if you drop it on some cement, you might have a little scratch on the edge or something, but you won't see it very much like you will on the heavy metal gun, right? The metal hardened steel gun. Okay, so Realism. Let's get into something where it's going to be in the favor of this guy. So Realism, obviously, a metal gun is going to be more realistic, okay? It's going to have that feel, that weight in the hand. Oftentimes metal guns, not always, but oftentimes they'll have things like blowback operation, or even if they don't have blowback operation, they might have a working slide, or they'll have like a lot more working parts on them. Plastic guns typically have a lot of the parts molded in. Sometimes they're just 2 pieces of plastic, you know, slammed together, and that's it, right? You got a trigger, not even a hammer. On this gun, it doesn't even have a hammer that works. This hammer, when I pull the trigger, I'm gonna just do it, right? When I pull the trigger, the hammer doesn't even come back. Safety works, trigger works, magazine ejector works. It's all plastic. Even the magazine is plastic on this guy, right? Whereas with this guy, I mean, we got working parts left, right, and center going on here, right? Slide catch releases. We got, you know, blowback operations, safeties, working grip safeties. Everything works. Full-size drop-out metal magazines. It's completely real, full blowback operation. I mean, these guns look and feel the real deal. They even have like a simulated kick because of the blowback. So Realism, you know, hands down, metal guns are going to do it for you a lot more than plastic guns, right? So I mean, that's I'm just trying to think of some more things that really we can talk about. Another thing. Okay, so not just durability, like durability from plastic to metal. Obviously, plastic in a lot of cases, because it's lighter, is just going to wear better, not scratch and all that. So we covered that. But also in terms of plastic and durability, the plastic guns tend to be simple, less moving parts, okay? So over time, they're probably going to be reliable. Less working parts means less things to go wrong. So there's a good chance your plastic, little inexpensive gun could outlast your more expensive metal BB gun, because there's less moving parts, less things to go wrong, okay? So that's another, you know, potential thing that you have to consider. Is, you know, there's so many things to consider. It's not just one's always better than the other. All right, I'm trying to think here of some other things that are important that plastic versus metal guns. What else? I remember, it took me a bit, but I had to, it took me a bit. There was another point I wanted to bring out, and I have brought this out in other videos. You know, having a gun that's super heavy, especially if you're doing airsoft wars, and you know, you got full metal mags, you've got your main gun, you've got all the tactical gear you're wearing, the helmet, you know, everything. It's really weighing you down. Sometimes having a light sidearm like this tucked into your vest or something, especially with a whole bunch of backup magazines that are lightweight as well because they're plastic. Being lightweight isn't such a bad thing. You're moving around, you're not dragging. I mean, it weighs you down. At first, you know, you get all the stuff on, it feels kind of cool. But as the day progresses, you're starting to get like your shoulders getting sore from the sling, all of this stuff's digging into you because it weighs a lot, and it gets, you know, irritating. So, you know, sometimes having guns that are lighter in weight are good. It's going to be an advantage, especially as the day goes on. You're going to get less tired. The guns are easier to hold and shoot. It's just going to be easier on you throughout the day. So that's another thing to consider, is heavy isn't always good. There's a reason why, you know, gun manufacturers, you know, back in the day, the 1911, all metal. Today's modern pistol has polymer frame, metal slide, right? Why do they do that? They do it to keep the weight down. A lighter gun is just easier to pack around, especially if you're like in the military or police officer, you're packing it around, or you're concealed carrying. You don't want to carry a 2.5 pound gun around with you all day long. It gets heavy. So there's a reason for lightening up guns, and it's beneficial for airsoft as well. That's pretty much it. I think we covered sorry, I've got this cold, it's going away, but I still got the raspy voice. So I think we've covered most of it. There really isn't a one is the best. You know, I'm probably like a lot of you. I do prefer all metal guns. I don't mind paying the extra price. I'm willing to accept that the gun may not last as long, but I tend to have a lot of guns, so I don't shoot one gun a ton. You know, I'll take it out and shoot it and enjoy it and put it away. So they stay pretty pristine. I'm not the kind of person to be dropping my guns. I take care of my stuff. I'm not worried about scratches and things. So for me, you know, all metal guns, a better option. Again, for some of you, a lot of wear and tear on the gun, you know, keeping the price down. Maybe you want it lightweight because you're going to use it in the field. This might be a better option, right? All right. Thanks for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Excuse me. Username is Replica Airguns. Don't forget to subscribe. I think I said that. Also, check out the Canada and US online stores. This voice is dying fast. I got to finish this video at replicairguns.ca and replicairguns.us for the US and Canada, where we sell airguns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.